Okay, I have here the 5 fidget spinners that I thought would be the best ones from the last unpackaging. I'm going to show you those real quick and then we'll get on to testing them. This one from Nomad. It's kind of a heavy little bar spinner. Makes a lot of noise and rattles a bit, but we're going to have to test it to see how well it really does. It feels okay. That's the first one. Then we have this one from, it looks like it says 9 line. Looks very similar to the Awkwing spinner. It almost, I kind of think it's the same thing. But I liked that one. This one I think I'm going to like too. We'll see how it tests. Then we have this one from Spin Me by Noust. And this one, like I said before, I had the copper one. The copper one is very good. This one seems, even looks a little better than the copper one. And it's still pretty heavy, so it might be copper underneath it. But that one, I got high hopes for this one. I think it's going to get a very long spin time. So that's number 3. And then we have these couple from FEGVE. This one, which doesn't seem to look as nice as the other ones I've got from them, but they've all tested pretty well so far, so we'll see how this one goes. This one's a little bit of a finger grabber though, so we'll see how that one works out. And then we have this other one, which I'm kind of curious about. I've never had anything kind of quite like this. I'm not sure what's going to happen with this one at all. It is a fidget spinner, and you can wear it as a ring too, apparently. I'll try that out later. But this one's pretty attractive, and I'm pretty curious to see how it's going to work. So that's number 5. So we'll get on with the testing of these pretty soon. Alright, it's time to review these 5 fidget spinners. The first one I've got here is this one from Nomad, a little bar spinner. First thing you notice about it is it's pretty heavy for just a little bar spinner. It weighs 80 grams, so you would expect it spins quite a long time, and it does. It's got an average spin time of 8 minutes and 11 seconds. And it was very consistent. It didn't matter how you held it. It came in just a little bit over 8 minutes. It plays just like any bar spinner. It's pretty typical in that respect, but it does get a long spin time. It's got an R188 bearing, and it's a pretty good bar spinner all in all. It's got one thing wrong with it, unfortunately. It doesn't handle wobble very well. So if you do like this, spin like that, and then you side to side, it just drops to nothing very quickly. A lot of a lot of friction when you move it side to side. So that's almost a fatal flaw in this. It did get a pretty good overall score of 7.5. And that's because of the long spin duration mostly, and the fact that it was very consistent. It didn't get penalized for differing on spin times, but the side-to-side thing is really a problem. Now I took it apart, tried to put it back together and see if there's anything loose in there that was causing this. I couldn't find anything. It's just seems to be the way it's made. So I can't really recommend that one, unfortunately. So that's that. The next one, oh, I should say also, I can't quite figure out where I bought this from. It was in my pile of stuff that I got from Amazon, but I looked up my old Amazon orders and I can't seem to find it, so it's kind of a mystery right now where I got this from or how much I paid for it. I don't really know. I think I paid about $30 for it, but I can't quite tell for sure. So you can search this one out. It's by Nomad, so it's probably should be pretty easy to find. The next one is this one, which looks very similar to one sold by Awkwing, and it seems to be about the same as that one. All I have on that one, again, I couldn't find where I bought this from. I looked through my orders and I can't find it, so I don't know how much I paid for it. I don't think I paid very much for it. But this is what you get with the package. You get this package. It looks like it's, to me, like it's probably a logo that says 9 line or something like that. And on the back of the container it says #1 best-selling fidget spinner, ceramic center. That's about all I can get on that. How did it work? It worked very well. It's got an average spin duration of 7 minutes and 37 seconds. It didn't vary much at all depending on how it was held, and going side to side it's nice and smooth and it keeps on spinning. So got a long spin time. I rated that one, it's got an overall score of 8.34, and that's mostly because it was so consistent and got a long spin time. And it feels really good. I think it looks pretty good. And I can't say anything but that I recommend that one. So that's a good one. And I don't think it costs very much, although I'm not exactly sure how much I paid for it. It got the highest score of these 5 fidget spinners by a little bit, mostly because of the consistency. The next one, Spin Me Gold by Nouse. This is a really awesome fidget spinner. This it got an average spin time of 11 minutes and 5 seconds, which is very long. It's pretty heavy. It weighs 100 grams, and it feels really good to play with. So this one, I had high hopes on this one. I thought it was going to do very well, and it did do very well. In fact, they give you an extra bearing with it, and I took that bearing and stuck it in something else I had that wasn't running so well, and it increased the spin time quite a bit. So this one, that one does come highly recommended. It did cost $26.50 on Amazon, and it has an R188 bearing in it. Nice and smooth, very easy to play with. It looks pretty good. Highly recommended. I would get that one. And then we go on to the next one, which is this one from FEGVE, which is probably the worst looking one I've got from this company so far. It cost $99.90 on Amazon. I just looked it up. It is still available, and I do have my link for this one, which I'll give you. It's a little more expensive now. Actually, it's $117 on Amazon right at the moment, and they still have some left. Spin time, 6 minutes. Not too bad. It's got a 660 bearing in it. Or 606, I'm sorry. 606 hybrid. And the main problem I have with it, it kind of catches your finger a little bit. If you give it a pull, it works fine. Trying to kick it out a little bit though, it kind of catches the finger a little bit. So it's not really terribly comfortable to play with. So this is probably the worst one I've got from this company so far, which most of them have been very good. And that is what it looks like. They call it the moon crater. It's got a little cratered finish to it. And I don't know if I'd recommend getting this one, but it's not too bad. Pretty good. Weighs 54 grams and it's made of titanium. And then we have this other one. The last one is from the same company. And this one is a totally different thing altogether. This is made to be two different things. You got a fidget spinner here, which works out very good. I'll just tell you about the fidget spinner part of it first. This thing cost $117 on Amazon, and I got an average spin time of 4 minutes and 40 seconds, which wasn't that great. But most of the weight is on the inside. It's not on the outside, out on the edges. It has these little plugs in it, which you can kind of get out. This one pops out of here. That, I don't know what that's made of, but it pops right out of there. You can pop it right back in and it stays. Feels really good. It's good to play with, no problems at all. And it looks really nice. I think it looks very attractive. The really unique thing about this one is that it's got a second function to it. You get this thing comes with it, this really huge bearing, which is actually, it turns out, is a ring. You can put it on your finger and spin this with it. I'm going to see how quickly I can get this thing apart so you can take a look and see what this looks like. You take this cap off of here, and then what you see on the inside, you've got your 606 bearing in there, and it's got a little retainer ring to hold that in place, but it's got this larger retainer ring on the outside, and if you get something to pry this loose with, if I can do this again, let's see if I can do this again. Well, that's not going to work. Okay. Looks like I tightened it down too tight. Let me pause the video for a second and I'll come back. Okay, we're back again. I got it loose. Take this ring off of here, this large ring, and take that ring off, and then you can take this entire large adapter out of here that has the 606 bearing in it, and you're left with this. And then you take this big bearing and put it in here, put the retainer ring back on. See how quickly I can tighten this up. Not very quickly. I'm not getting it in right. Nope, I didn't get it in right again. So it's not that easy to do. I think I got it this time. Okay, so now you have this, basically a ring you can put on your finger and spin it. And I don't really have any good way of testing how long this spins, but it seems to go pretty well. I have no idea what kind of bearing that is, the great big bearing that's in there. There's probably a better way to do this than the way I'm doing it right now. But for my taste, I would leave that alone and just use it as a fidget spinner. So I'm gonna put this thing back together real quick. Hopefully real quick. It hasn't been working out that way so far. And we'll just save our big bearing. Put the adapter back in. And hopefully this ring will go on here easily this time. Tighten it up. Put the caps back on. And there we have a fidget spinner again. It's very smooth side to side. It was very consistent on its spin times. A little over 4 minutes. I gave it a high appearance score of 9. I think it looks really good. Feel I gave it an 8 because I think it does feel really good. It's no trouble at all to spin. And all in all, a very good product. A little pricey, $119. I don't know if I'd really recommend this one unless you want something unique. If you want something unique, this would be something to pick up. As a fidget spinner, obviously you can get a lot better. It doesn't have the best run time and the spin time in the world, but I'm pretty happy to have it. So, all right, that's the end of these 5 fidget spinners. The winner on score was this one, this little cheap one, the Spin Me Copper. It's a fantastic spinner. Got this one I just talked to you about, and this one I wasn't terribly happy with. But that's about it. See you later.